marketing with Connie and Andrew. Hi, Connie and Andrew.
Hello there.
Hey, Kathy.
Hello. So
Great
they're
to
in
have
Colorado too. Morning. So I'm so excited to have them back. We've been lucky enough to talk with Connie and Andrew before, and it's Connie Baxter Marlow and Andrew Cameron Bailey. So not that it's easy to remember all those names, but couldn't you make it easier on us, you guys? But anyway.
CBM.
Yeah.
So I am so excited because what you are going to get to experience today is a chance to see two incredible co-creators that have merged different worlds, basically used a global perspective to come up with a new paradigm for trust and relationships. So why don't we start there with trust, and then I'll show the book for a second, then I'll go tag and invite some people. But here is how I met Connie and Andrew was through this book, The Trust Frequency. And the Trust Frequency is a manual, basically like how to explain a manual. It's a consciousness manual that allows you to use different paradigms in order to be more self-actualized. And it's using indigenous knowledge as well as current knowledge, but removing the veil of illusion. And inside the book, in the back, there's this cool video that's about Namibia. And my daughter spent 3 years in Namibia in the Peace Corps. So I was just amazed when I saw that. So why don't we start with explaining the 10 assumptions, and I do have them here, but you probably know them by heart. And while you do that, I'll start inviting some more people. But if you could talk about, because this is where it all begins, these assumptions, these platforms. Okay?
All right. Well, okay. So we have the book, The Trust Frequency, 10 Assumptions for a New Paradigm, which we wrote together. Andrew actually wrote the book, and based on principles that I had put together from my association with indigenous elders, visionary indigenous elders who'd come into my life to show me the missing pieces of the paradigm that I was seeking, because I felt my paradigm that I was raised in didn't have all the answers, and I was looking for more. And so I went to Europe. I looked all around, and what came to me, what Spirit sent to me, was visionary native elders. And I saw through them and their way of life, a way of being, a way of knowing, an understanding of the nature of the universe that was way out of the box. And right now we're in a course with Nassim Haramein, who is with unified physics, is actually proving this stuff. So Andrew brought his amazing depth and breadth of his life as a Sufi, as a South African, and we came up with this book, The 10 Assumptions for a New Paradigm, giving access to the trust frequency. Do you want to say a little something about our beginnings, my darling?
Well, the first thing, Connie and I met back in 2003 at the Omega Institute, which is a spiritual retreat center, conference and workshop facility in upstate New York. And the next thing we did is we went to Africa, right on the border, as you just mentioned, Kathy, of Namibia. And the reason for that was that is the home of the so-called Bushmen of the Kalahari. They are the oldest continuous living community of people on the planet. They used to occupy all of Africa, and now they're confined to 5 countries in Southern Africa. And to me, they just have a wisdom. They've been around for longer than any of us, and they are deeply in touch with spirit, with nature. And so that film is, we went and consulted with a number of indigenous elders in a lot of different cultures, but we started out by going to the world's oldest people in Africa on the border of Namibia. I just wanted to set that
Yeah.
straight.
And Andrew had known them for decades. This film, and it's called In Search of the Future, What Do the Wise Ones Know? And it's available online, is with elders we've known for 20 to 40 years. So they're speaking stuff from their heart, and they're knowing that they don't normally speak. And it is available online, and it is a companion piece to the Trust Frequency book, because what indigenous cosmology brings, and quantum science, and now unified science, unified physics is bringing, is a knowing, an ability to trust the fact that we live in a conscious, loving, abundant universe.
Hey.
Yes. And that different frequencies have different laws. So we're in a frequency of scarcity because we believe it. See, quantum science is proving that we create our reality with the observer effect. This is very important for people to know, to grok and to put their life on, okay? Because we affect the collective with how we think, okay? And we're calling it, we have the 7 A's of consciousness, 7 aspects of consciousness that create our reality. And we can check these 7 A's any time of the day or night. And so I guess I'll tell them what 7 A's.
I want to make sure this is up, and I want to make sure that people can see this so that you can see where to get more information, the trustfrequency.net. So there's 10 assumptions, and then you reduced it to this sentence of A's, right?
No, not exactly. So yes, we are proposing 10 alternative core beliefs, foundational beliefs, assumptions about the nature of reality. And in the center of that group of 10, we come to what we call the fourth assumption, and it's to do with consciousness. And consciousness can be divided into, or be described. There are 7, there are more, but there's 7 principal aspects of consciousness itself. Coincidentally, in the English language, they all begin with the letter A. If you go to the dictionary, you'll find the first one, but you won't find the other 6. The first one is awareness. Yes, awareness is indeed consciousness. But there's 6 more. You want to tell us?
Yeah, I'll tell you the sentence.
This is kind of a, what's the word? It's a manual or it's a toolbox.
A toolbox that people can check day in, any time of the day or night to see, because these 7 aspects create our vibratory level. It's physics, okay? And our vibratory level determines our frequency. And each frequency has a different set of laws, we're claiming, okay? And that's pretty well known. So in this sentence of 7 A's, one can discern where one's different aspects are. And let me just say that this is our fourth assumption. The first assumption is that there's only love. Absolutely. That love is unconditional is our second assumption, which means it gives us everything we ask for.
Right.
And we are so loved by a conscious, loving universe, it gives us everything we ask for. And then assumption number 3 is, what are our requests to this conscious, loving universe? Our consciousness. What are the aspects of our consciousness that are our requests to the conscious, loving universe? So here's the 7 A's, our fourth assumption.
Okay.
All right. With expanded awareness and accurate assumptions, we choose our attitude, consciously direct our attention, align with our highest inner prompting, take committed action, and allow the loving universe to manifest beyond our wildest dream.
That's fabulous. That's fabulous. And it's a great way to affirm all of those things. So these A's that you came up with, was this how were you inspired to come up? Well, actually, how did you come up with all the 10 assumptions? I know you're saying you came with your life experience, but this is more than that. This is like a divine download.
Well,
Okay.
is the result of a lot of, shall we say, study and contemplation and years of being alive and conscious and aware on this planet, for one thing. And then looking at the fact that our assumptions, our fundamental beliefs, our core beliefs really are the filter through which we experience our lives.
That's right.
If I believe, for example, that everything's really bad, guess what kind of life I create? Because we create our existence. We actually create the reality we experience with the power of our consciousness, which is another way of saying our thoughts and what we believe. And if we have negative beliefs, guess what we end up creating? Guess what kind of life we experience?
Right.
And the opposite applies. So we just said, okay, once upon a time there were 10, what were they called? 10 commandments. And we said, how about 10 assumptions? People say, don't make assumptions. You have to make assumptions. I'm sitting on a chair. I have to assume this chair will support me. I'm breathing. I have to assume the air is breathable. Stuff like that. So we inevitably make assumptions. So we looked at current assumptions that are the sort of founding consensus reality of this world we live in. Things like scarcity and danger and doubt and on, and realized that many of the current assumptions are fear-based. So we said, okay, the opposite of fear is trust. Why don't we flip them 180 degrees and see what it looks like? And let's just do 10. It could have been 12 or 75. We just said 10 assumptions. And so that's an arbitrary number, but we selected these 10. And then in the middle of it, we found consciousness. It really turns out to be all about consciousness. But consciousness is something that science couldn't begin to explain, and psychology and psychiatry could barely engage with it. So what is consciousness? Go to the dictionary. It's awareness. Okay, got it. I agree, but it's much, much more than that. What is consciousness? And hence the 7 A's. That make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. My take on it is, in fact, that I saw through these native people this reality of abundance. They don't save, they don't hoard. Okay, I have a degree in economics. I saw this reality and I got it, that what the native people are carrying is the clues to the true nature of the universe.
Right.
Jesus showed us this with his miracles, his loaves and fishes, the abundance that he brought through with the 40 bushel baskets left over from this.
Right.
And all his healing. Well, the native people can do that healing stuff. They have access to that abundant universe in their deepest knowing. Okay. We've all been influenced by a lower frequency on the planet. And so we haven't manifested this abundant thinking, this abundance yet, because we're in process of walking through scarcity beliefs, separation beliefs. This is our big job as humanity, to process this stuff. So even the native people who have this abundant thinking core have been affected by this scarcity thinking and by the whole process that we've all been going through. And they know that in their prophecies and in their knowing that each color of man would come and do a different aspect of this thing. And then we'd all come together. And that's this time now. So my take is that I had this construct on the nature of the universe. And then Andrew said, let's make it into 10 assumptions. Let's go and do 10 assumptions. And then we came up with what the prevailing paradigm is in contrast to
a structure to present the ideas, a matrix, a foundation for these ideas that's a coherent alternative to the current reality.
Perfect.
And what we've done now is we've taken these, basically the first 4 assumptions, and we've applied those to relationships. And we have a course now online called The Dance of Souls, the Relationship Revolution. And we are, it's the Dance of Souls. We've been in this dance for 16 years, and it's quite a dance. And I know you wanted to talk about this on this show, and it's a very big deal what we're bringing with this course. And it's a lot of work. It's scary. It's profound, because it flips the whole concept of victim perpetrator into beneficiary benefactor.
Oh, it's so perfect. And of course, I love this conversation right now, because people are doing a lot of inner work. The ones that I know and are part of this conscious business zone, this is the pause that's allowing them to really do some more work. So you guys, this is a tremendous resource. The book's fantastic, and this course, certainly the course will walk you through, and it's like having Connie and Andrew there to guide you. So, and I love the conversation about conscious choice. I think we were so indoctrinated with how things are. I mean, our parents meant well, and our grandparents meant well, but they were trying to protect or give us the clues of how you do this. And we have to reject most of it now. I mean, it's not that it was bad, but it was incomplete. It didn't include love. It included a lot of fear, and it included a lot of protect yourself rather than be fully open and receive. So how are you seeing? So you're up at a Sunrise Ranch, which is a community. And like all communities, intentional communities, there's interesting relationships that happen. Are you seeing that your work, that it's doing this work is helping you with the community?
Well, we're very isolated at this point amongst the community. And a community is a great place for such understandings to come forth. If we stay in victim perpetrator, we just perpetuate the situation. What we have to come to understand is that we came on a journey to wholeness. Each person incarnated through free will, gave an overarching act of free will to incarnate with a gift and a purpose on the soul's journey to wholeness. This is our definition in the Trust Frequency book. And what we have to understand is that we came in with a job to do, and that is to align with our gift, our talent, our whole selves. Okay, and we came in with parts of ourselves that we don't yet love, and we came in to learn to love those. So we could bring this gift to the party that is all of us, not the parts we're hiding that we're ashamed of, those parts we don't love, and that we're protecting with defensive behaviors, with various behaviors. We withdraw, we attack. What do we do that is our defense to protect ourselves from anybody ever finding out how stupid we are, how incompetent, how unworthy, all those things. Okay, this is key to understanding that every relationship in our life comes to show us the parts we don't yet love.
Exactly.
The parts we do love, our light and our shadow. So every relationship is a gift to us.
Perfect. Perfect. And the more you fear it, the more you should do it. Right? I mean, the more.
Good point. It's not easy. It's
No.
not easy work. It's deep work. It's challenging and it's rewarding. So check it out. Give it a shot. The Dance of Souls. Because once we see it as a dance, you know, I come to this planet and I meet this gorgeous young lady here, and I look at her and she looks at me and we go, whoa, we've got work to do, haven't we? And we get on with the work. But then as time goes on, stuff emerges because there's a hidden purpose going on here. So we, you know, oh, we've got our purpose. We've got these films to make and these books to write and this work to do and this light to bring to the world. And then stuff intervenes. And then we have to go through this whole learning process of, okay, what is this stuff? Why is it still here? We thought that we'd got that done long, long, long ago before we even met. And here's all these additional layers of stuff, of baggage that we arrived with.
And it's just important for people to understand there's no shame in having aspects of ourselves we don't love yet. It's now is the time to go there, to thank those people for showing us those parts we don't yet love, rather than pushing them away and making them the perpetrator, accepting them as the benefactor of our mirror of the parts we don't love yet. And it's no shame. There's nothing. It's what we came here to do, the job we came because we promised to bring a gift. And that gift is us, all of us.
Yes.
Not the hidden part, not leaving out the hidden parts that we think nobody wants to see and that we're ashamed of, et cetera, et cetera.
So I think it's a hero's journey, or heroine, as the case may be. And I really feel that is what the embodiment lesson is. But there is a special bonus that's happening right now where in my knowing, and I don't know if you agree with this, but it feels as though this is an opportunity to really embody more of your light in your soul, because each one of those obstacles to their obscurations really of the truth. So once you can shed light on them and transmute them, then you can hold more of your soul. And I think that's what we're going through right now, this pause before a reset. It's a huge opportunity to do this work.
So we have an entire world in lockdown to some degree or another. And as we emerge from this lockdown, who are we going to emerge as?
Right.
Take advantage of this opportunity individually, as couples who are sequestered together and are spending way more time than we ever spent together before, and that can be challenging. And with children and our parents and all of the grief and all of the feelings associated with what is going on the planet, this is a huge heart-opening opportunity to emerge in a higher evolutionary state.
Yeah.
Perfect. Can I read one thing? It's I had to go to Facebook. The Be Live stream is not showing it, but Shannon Crossbear said, "Good model to explain to those who come from a different cosmology. That is the paradigm shift that is needed, and the wisdom keepers have been saying this for eons." Yay!
Yeah, beautiful.
Yes. So beautiful.
Yes. So if in a perfect world, would you have couples do this class together, or do you see it as, I mean, I believe right now I'm by myself with two kitties. I'm on Zoom almost all day, it seems like, with work. I'm very busy. I'm very lucky that people are getting their gifts out now. And so, but would you suggest that this class would be helpful for me to do by myself?
Absolutely.
I see it as very individual, Kathy. It really is. If I take this course, it's because I'm doing my inner work. And then if I did it with a partner, with Connie, for example, how would we handle that? Would that be different?
I think it really will go deep either way, because
So I think we've created this with a focus on the individual signing up and taking the course and really looking into the mirror of these relationships. Each of them is a mirror to ourselves. So I'm looking at myself when I look at Connie, and what comes back from her is a reflection of my soul and the work I perhaps need to do.
Right.
To engage in it together.
Yeah, because it is the dance. Because then I have my work that he's showing me. It's a dance of souls. So it's serving both souls. But I want to say to you, it is not only about couples in any way, shape, or form. It is about a child relationship, a boss, a fellow co-worker,
Perfect.
a person in the grocery line that steps in front of us and like, oh, someone's always stepping in front of me. Okay, why is someone stepping in front of me all the time? Okay, so the universe loves us so much, it's going to bring us those signals, those clues to how we feel about ourselves.
Perfect.
It's key, and that's tough stuff. That's a huge flip from, oh, that person that stepped in front of me is rude. Okay, no, that person that stepped in front of me is telling me something because it's triggering me, because it's making me feel worthless again, because I have a deep sense of worthlessness. It's huge. And the key is to go inside when you see and feel these triggers, to go inside and bring that feeling of worthlessness into the light so it can leave. And one will find when one does that, that other people's behavior towards us changes almost instantaneously. It's really bizarre. My cousin did this work. She went to work the next day, and the person who was always nasty to her was so nice to her. And then she went to her other place of work, and the other person that's always nasty to her was so nice to her. I mean, it's magic because we're all connected. Because we're all connected. So it's really, and it's a loving universe to take us on this journey that we said when we incarnated, okay, loving universe, you get to do this. Please.
It affects how you're being, right? Because that frequency, people are just responding. When you talk about the dance, people are just responding to your frequency. So if you're in fear, they sense your fear, whether it's however the fear manifests, because it can manifest in all different ways. But they experience your fear, and then they react to that. But if you're in peace and in presence, you don't have those triggers on everyone else either. I mean, chances are it's cleanup work, right? It's just cleanup work.
And your soul will actually ask their soul to say something. Their soul, they may even go, why did I say that? They said that because your soul asked their soul to do that, because we've got to get this job done to bring all of ourselves, self-love, self-acceptance, and bring our gift to the party. All of creation is awaiting the gift we promised to bring to the party.
That's perfect. Well, we've got a bunch of people here. We've got Elizabeth Tucci. We've got Elsie Ritzenheim's here. We've got Sixtina Friedrich. I can't see everybody else. They keep coming in, or the scrolling's not working. But what I'd like, well, Elizabeth asked if we could repeat the 7 A's.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
want to repeat them, or Andrew, you want to?
We will definitely repeat that, and because it's a good thing to sort of wrap things around, because if that alone, if that alone could be a very powerful transformative takeaway for anybody who's on this call.
And in the course, Andrew does meditations in each module. There's only 6 modules, so it's not a big, heavy-duty, lengthy course. It's concise, precise, and Andrew takes the people through a meditation on each of the 7 A's.
Right. So there's the awareness one, there's the attention one, there's the assumption one, there's the, what are the others?
Well, yeah. Okay, here goes the sentence. They wanted the sentence. All right. And each word that describes the A is very important too. Okay? With expanded awareness and accurate assumptions, we choose our attitude, consciously direct our attention, align with our highest inner promptings, take committed action, and allow the loving universe to manifest beyond our wildest dreams.
Our wildest dreams, how about that?
Because the universe wants more for us than we can fathom. Okay? We have to allow the loving universe to do its thing, walk in total trust, knowing that the universe wants more for us than we can fathom, because we've been raised in a lower frequency construct of scarcity and separation. And in that lower frequency, that's what we get. But in a higher frequency, there's a completely different reality that's beyond anything we can imagine.
So I want to ask about what we do think is happening now and what you do think after all of this shutdown. I'm going to put your website back up. Here we go. Because I think this pause before the reset, the opportunity to take a course like this or read your book and to really come out of this as a more loving and kind being is a huge possibility. I mean, when you think about, okay, what did I do the last month? Well, of course, there was probably a couple of days, more than a couple of days of getting used to all the change of space. I mean, I usually am in an office. I'm at my house. And the cats were going in and out. They're used to me now. But at first it was, oh, she's here. And I'm on these business calls and I got this big furry thing in my lap. Well, no, I mean, we're in an adjustment period. That's a gift. I see it as a gift. And I don't want to go into fear about it. I want to co-create with the universe this new earth that I feel that a bunch of us came here to help birth. And we could talk about Barbara's work too if you want after this. But what do you see that's happening?
So, referring to Barbara, if you will, let's ask this question.
Barbara who?
Barbara Marx Hubbard.
You win the prize.
Win the prize.
That's it.
Well, there's a few Barbaras, but no,
There are a few Barbaras
Right.
in this world.
that's what you and I have in common.
Yeah.
Right.
So let's
No.
explain that we're here at Sunrise Ranch, where the extraordinary futurist Barbara Marx Hubbard spent the last 2.5 years of her life, and she passed away just about a year ago now, and we miss her big time. But she is the mother of conscious evolution. So let's ask this question. Could this lockdown be an evolutionary opportunity? And the possibility exists that we emerge from this situation in a higher, more evolved way, and that we can actually end up being grateful to all of these things that have happened, despite the grief, despite the fear, despite all of the things that we must feel. we mustn't, this is not about shutting ourselves down. It's about opening way up and becoming transparent to what is occurring and letting it pass through our souls, because ultimately we are souls, we are spirits. We're in these human bodies, but we're here for an evolutionary purpose. So that's my thought on that.
Yes, and Barbara said every crisis is a birth. Okay, and that is so key for us to keep our attention on. Remember that attention? Consciously direct our attention when we understand how we influence the collective, how powerful we are with that one attention. Okay, where we put our attention. If I can give your listeners anything, it's where we put our attention, how we affect the collective. And I want to say that I'm involved with a lot of Zoom calls that involve Indigenous people. And all of those calls, everyone knows, it's in the knowing that this is the earth moving into a higher frequency. This is our birth. This is the fulfillment of the prophecies that say we're coming together. Look, how could anything be more magical than a pandemic that's global, that affects us all the same? It doesn't matter how much money we have, what country we're in, what religion we have, whatever, we are one. And one other thing I want to say is, from the trust frequency perspective, and this is what this came to me very early on, and it was even before my association with the Native people, the transformative power of grief. Okay, this is key. See, I get little bits of information, and when it resonates, I put it in my worldview. Absolute, and then it becomes absolute in my worldview until something else comes and supplants it. Or anyway, I came across this at what's the name that Desai was my cousin?
Amrit Desai.
Amrit Desai. Amrit Desai said this. What's the name of the
Kripalu.
Kripalu. My cousin, the same cousin that I just talked to you about, was at Kripalu decades ago.
She worked there for decades.
Yeah, and Amrit Desai wrote this piece, The Transformative Power of Grief. And I've been advising my friends ever since that day I read that, when someone passes, to go deep inside with the grief and discover the gift of that passing. Let it give birth. Let that grief give birth to something that never would have been accessed without that depth of grief. Okay, so what I got just the other day was this whole thing of the folks who are dying, because in the trust frequency, there's only free will. Okay, so we actually choose our time of death and way of death. Okay, it's this whole construct is pretty radical. All right.
So we volunteered.
So we volunteered
for this. Okay.
It's only love. There is absolutely only love. So what if the people who die have chosen for humanity and for their journey to die at this time?
Right.
And what about the 10 or 20 people who are grieving their death?
For each one of them.
For each one of them to go deep inside and bring forth a gift.
That's right.
Of transformation.
Beautiful.
So this whole thing becomes a transformative gift.
Beautiful. Well,
it means go deep with that grief.
I want to tell you, Elsie Ritzenheim wrote, the lockdown is absolutely, in caps, a conscious evolution. And Milana Fiore said, yep, it's our choice. Kathy Botchman said, absolutely, Kathy, about coming here to birth the new. So you're getting a lot of feedback here that's positive, that they agree. I agree with the grief thing. I even when I started packing up my office to come back here, I was crying because I realized I might not ever be back at it. that was, and I loved my office, but I might be working from home for a while. And but it was, it was an okay. I still have I have 3 rooms of furniture there. Still, it's still set up. So so there's all these transitions that people are having, and they can either fight them or ride the wave of it and see and look for the gift of it, and come to peace.
And listen, we're on the brink of bringing a whole new world to pass, a whole new ballgame with different laws, different rules. I promise you, there's another ballgame. There's a party going on. It's in another frequency. We're all invited. We're just not there because of what we believe to be true, and the habits we have and the systems we've put in place. So the faster they break down and go away, the whole shooting match. Okay, I promise you, there's something more, something better that we have to create through free will. We have to bring through the physical through free will to pass. And I have seen aspects of this future. And see, because there's a new energy on the planet, all right, we're not fighting City Hall. We're not fighting against that fear energy anymore. We're allowing trust. We're allowing ourselves to move into something that's, calling us forth. And what I've seen, and I know, and John Lennon described it in Imagine. And that's why everyone's resonated to Imagine so much, because it describes something our heart knows is true, is possible. Awesome. And in the native way, he says, imagine no possessions. Well, in the native way, you don't own anything. You are caretaker of it. If someone comes and says, oh, I like your earrings, Connie, that's my signal to know that it's their turn to have those earrings. Yeah. They have a responsibility before they say, oh, nice earrings. Their responsibility is to know that they're coming from the fact that it's their turn, not out of greed, because they're diamonds or whatever, not out of greed, but in knowing, oh, yeah, it's my turn now. Well, so no possessions. All right.
You wrote this book in 2012. So
2012 took about 5 years to finalize the book. It was a big project.
Yes, yeah, it's fabulous, and it's well laid out. It's a beautiful book, and the information is so valuable. Plus, you get a video at the inside as well.
Not anymore.
Oh, okay.
That was in the old days.
We know that's okay. We actually the film is online. The film is totally accessible. We give it for free. And there's a link to that. So.
DVDs are over anyway.
Oh, so Olivia Parred's here, and she says, I'm at the party. Love you both. And
hi, Olivia. Olivia Parred.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
our dear Olivia.
Yes.
You know Olivia, of course you do. Yeah.
Yes. So what then is I know that Barbara Marx Hubbard as a futurist affected you guys, because I know that at Conscious Life Expo, you had a booth and you did a presentation about her work. Could you just share a little bit before we're done, so people have, I just want people to understand what a valuable resource.
Yeah, that's a good idea. How would they find that?
Well, go to BarbaraMarxHubbard.com.
What it is, what it was.
Well, I was asked to give a tribute to her at Conscious Life Expo, because we became very close friends here at Sunrise Ranch, and our work is very complementary. And so her work, you can go to BarbaraMarxHubbard.com and the Foundation for Conscious Evolution.com, and just, she's written a lot of books, and she's very important because of her visionary look at the future and the birth of Homo amore universalis. She saw us birthing a new species with this transformation. So it was her articulation of the billions of years of evolution now giving birth to a new human. And I would say that that's the essence of her way. She had a peace room she envisioned. She was very proactive in government, in the space program. She also was very interested in extraterrestrial contact. She felt that we need to raise our frequency, raise our collective consciousness so that these ETs would be comfortable to come and assist us and come together with us so we can bring this new way of being on the planet. So that's
How would people find your tribute that you did in LA?
well, yeah, the tribute, Celestine Starr was part of the tribute, and it's on our Trust Frequency YouTube channel. And but Celestine brought in her spirit. It was really a beautiful 15-minute tribute to Barbara.
And I got to film it and it turned out really well, so I'm proud of it.
Yeah, and we have a little clip of Barbara saying that what happens in evolution is that these apparently disparate pockets of information, let's say, that look like they're going nowhere, nothing's happening, but they all coalesce at some point and create a new leap in evolution.
Islands of coherence.
Islands of coherence come together. Very good.
Yeah.
Because there's all this verbiage now around coherence, the Heart Math Institute. We suggest people go there and hook into the global heart coherence, because it's our job now, those of us who resonate, to do this thing. We came here to do it, and we can't get sidetracked with the negative. We have to go forward and know that the future is pulling us, and to show up and bring it to pass on earth through free will.
Right. Perfect. Well, thank you for sharing that. And I would say taking your class or using these tools, Andrew and Connie are a huge resource for you to go to the next level in your development. And what I know from doing the work is that you will free up energy so you can co-create and have your gift be birthed as well. So there's a win-win-win. The earth wins, society wins, and you become totally free and to dance with life in a new way and share your gifts, because all those constructs and those fears and those childhood traumas melt away. They served as long as they serve. Correct?
Yes, and we came to get those childhood traumas. We chose our parents. Our soul actually asks them, even to the extent of abuse. Okay, this is radical because it's absolute. Okay, so it's a big deal. Moving out of duality, good and evil, right and wrong, victim, perpetrator, is huge. And until we do that, we're stuck in a lower frequency.
Right. Perfect.
And for those of you who are actually stuck alone, realize also that a major part of the dance of souls is dancing with your own soul. We are souls. So if we're alone, we can dance with ourselves, and we can dance with all of those loved ones in the spirit world, because they too are souls who are totally available to us. So, for example, let's say I had a conflict with my dad that I was never able to resolve during my lifetime. He transitioned, went to the spirit world, so he's available. He's right here, right now, and we can dance, Dad.
Yeah.
So think about that. It's really an opportunity to be creative. A dance is fun. A dance is creative expression. And out of this can emerge transformative wisdom that really makes a difference.
Well, so I put the link again up, the socialchrysalis.com, and the course is called The Dance of Souls, and there's dashes in between. I'll put it in the comments and in the explanation. So what's next?
Well, let me say one thing. This Dance of Souls course is on a social platform, an educational portal inspired by Barbara Marx Hubbard.
Right.
And it is called Social Chrysalis for a reason, because we're in this chrysalis of transformation. And on this platform, one can find various courses for conscious evolution in action. And it was started by an inspiration by Stephen Donaco, who worked with Barbara at Humanities Team to create her last courses. And so we really recommend that people go there and explore the various courses for conscious evolution in action.
Great. And I love all of these people. I was very involved with Humanities Team for 3 years. I did their marketing plan that they're still using, and that created some of this stuff. So it's so cool. And Stephen Donaco is a beautiful being.
Right.
Yeah, you should get him on your show.
There you go.
I have.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you have. Oh, yeah.
You're way ahead of us.
You're way ahead of us.
I think twice.
Excellent.
Yes. So, but what's next? Do you see, I mean, you guys are so prolific between video and books and papers and projects and classes. There must be something cooking.
There's always something cooking with us too. One of the things we're working on is taking the Trust Frequency book and turning it into a 12-module online course. So that is in the works. We're just finishing the script. We're firing up the teleprompter. We're going to be creating it. Are you aware of Wowza? Ha! You are not aware of it. You've got a treat in store for you.
Okay.
Wowza is a young lady who is pushing 84, good friend of Barbara Marx Hubbard's. She looks about 57, maybe. Mm-hmm. She wrote a book called Ageless Vitality, and she's extraordinary. She's this incredibly youthful senior, and she is joining us in this course. And what are we just about to do?
Right, and people can go on the connection field, the goodofthewhole.org. Their connection field, and Monday evenings.
We're just starting that first one this coming Monday.
From 5 to 7 Mountain Time, or 7 to no, not 5 to 7, 5 to 6 Mountain Time, or 7 to 8 Eastern Time. We're doing the Trust Frequency Embodied for an hour with Wowza,
who is an incredible. She actually was once a famous actress. She was Miss Florida back in the day. She's drop dead outrageous, and she's this. I call her my sacred acting coach. She's a wonderful theater. So she brings a sort of whole dance theater thing to this. That's going to make it fun and embody it, bring it into the body.
So it's going to be magical on Mondays on the connection field, the good of the whole, and it's free.
It's free.
And she is, so it's about, Andrew's going to do a meditation to bring in the spirit. We will bring in the mental, because these 10 assumptions are for the mind, because our mind sabotages our heart and spirit. So we're bringing information, the 10 assumptions, plus Andrew's meditation to bring in the spirit, and then Wowza will bring in the body.
Wonderful. She sits on one of those big balls and she bounces up and down and does amazing, crazy stuff. She's over the top.
Well, that's what's so cool about Wowza, I'm sure, is similar to Barbara. Barbara at 89 was, and I was with her a month or two before she passed, and I was at a bunch of her birthday parties from 85 on, it seemed like, and she was so sharp. I mean, her articulation, she was amazing. And they're showing us a whole different model of aging with this incredible high frequency, love, excitement, joy, It's a different model than there's a lot of 7-year-olds that don't have it, don't have the energy or the enthusiasm for life. You know, it's really a great thing to see. So I look forward to meeting Wowza. Sounds like Olivia knows Wowza.
Tonight, come on the show.
And we're in our 70s and we're just getting going.
Yeah, getting started now. Finally, took a while,
huh? We've been waiting for the consciousness to be ready for the trust frequency. Because why do it before? So we've had the book out and it's been making its waves, and we've been on the radio shows and the yada yada, etc. But it just hasn't been time for it to go viral,
to the mainstream. Going
so,
viral has taken on a whole new connotation, hasn't it?
Yeah, going viral.
Yeah,
viral, you can go now.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's a polarity thing. You know, it could be either one. But you guys, if you're a conscious business or you're starting a conscious business, and this is one of the things. This and the course are things that you could do that could help free up so much of your light, so that you could really be the shining star and the light that you are, embody more of your soul, have more vital life energy. You can see these guys are excited about what they're doing. They're living it. This is not theory. This is not someone regurgitating books they read. This is two delightful people who are in service to the whole, to themselves and others, and they're showing you a path to do that as well. So thank you so much, you guys. Love you.
Love you. Thank you, Kathy.
Great. Thanks. We'll everybody.
I'm sure we'll get to play soon, even if we have to sneak.
Much love to all.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Be
Bye-bye.
safe. Be safe. Many blessings.
I'm healthy as an ox. Bye.
Stay that way.
Yeah. Bye-bye.